years. I met some true medical patients,
Sure.
which I didn't even know was a thing before.
Right.
I thought that was a joke.
Right.
And then I also met people who had criminal records for consuming and were, unfairly targeted. And it occurred to me that, hold on, there's something here.
Right.
And I had it opened my eyes, that event. And also I had lived in California for several years, and I saw the difference in where California was and where New York was. And I thought, wait a second, how is New York so far behind? As a New Yorker, I thought New York's the capital of the world. We're number one in everything. And I saw that.
Number one in everything except for cannabis.
Exactly. Well, we might be number one in getting it wrong.
Right. Yeah.
and
just so you know, I mean, I've literally been working in New York and have worked on the issue of cannabis regulations in New York for 20 years. Started back in 2001 and close to 20 years. And I remember the first time I actually testified before the New York legislature was in maybe 2001 and a half, talking back then about them trying to implement a bill to help take the patients off the battlefield. And that's been my moniker since really day one. I mean, I get it that states have to figure out what they want to do from an adult use standpoint. But while we're arguing the question, we know for a fact that cannabis has been considered a legitimate drug, even by our own government for the last 40 plus years. And so therefore, while everybody's trying to figure out what to and what not to do, let's take the patients off the battlefield, allow for medical distribution of and consumption on a medical basis to start. That's what I've been advocating for 20 years now.
And I want to thank you for that, because I know you've been doing this work for a long time.
Sure.
And have been a champion for especially medical cannabis education. I think that's unfortunately gets left behind as
even now, and especially now, now, today, it's being left behind, where at the end of the day, that's going to be what saves this industry. I don't think anybody in this industry even really recognizes and understands. I mean, not that I'm trying to take away from what we're talking about, but at the end of the day, yes, I agree with the adult use, but I'm also a believer that anybody who turns to cannabis is turning to cannabis because of an underlying medical reason anyway. They may not even recognize that for what it is. To say I do it because it helps me sleep, medical reason.
Right.
To say I do it because it helps, reduce some of my anxiety, medical reason. I do it because it just makes me feel better. Well, that glass of wine that was recommended to you by your doctor about 8 years ago once a day was also for medical purposes.